Let's get to our top story. The UN Security Council is expected to convene later today at the request of the United States, Japan, and South Korea to discuss North Korea's weekend test of a ballistic missile. Multiple nations are discussing the possibility of new sanctions against Pyongyang. North Korea called the launch a success, and their state television released this video, which it says is of the test. State media claims leader Kim Jong-un supervised the launch personally, and that the missile tested is a new type of weapon. The missile traveled around 300 miles, then crashed into the Sea of Japan. U.S. Strategic Command believes it was either a medium or a long-range missile, not an intercontinental ballistic missile, and poses no threat to the continental United States. The test was the first since President Trump took office and came during the visit with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The two leaders addressed the launch late Saturday night, with Abe calling the launch absolutely intolerable and Trump saying the U.S. stands behind Japan 100%. Joining us live from Seoul, South Korea, NBC News foreign correspondent Keir Simmons. Keir, South Korea says this was a, quote, show of force to the new Trump administration.
Yeah, that's the way it's viewed in this region. In a sense, I guess you could call this a classic piece of North Korean attention-seeking. They've done it many times before. And keep in mind that, in a sense, North Korea have been starved from attention by the Obama administration for many years. They see a new president as an opportunity to maybe change things, perhaps reset things. So there are two sides to this, I guess. One is the military side. It is the case that they have been able to develop these missiles over time. So in that sense, I guess the Obama policy hasn't worked. It is also the case at the same time that a lot of this is about politics. As you mentioned, the timing is absolutely crucial. What's interesting is to see the Russians and the Chinese criticize it. The question, though, is how the White House will deal with this going forward, because the real fear, of course, is that at some point North Korea develop a long-range missile that is nuclear capable and capable, therefore, of reaching the U.S. mainland.
All right,
Keir Simmons, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Let's go to David Ignatius right now. David, I guess timing is everything. You look at the fact, and actually some positive timing, where the president seemed to mend fences with China at the end of last week. They had a very good call, according to everybody involved in those talks. Then this weekend, we saw something that we haven't seen in quite some time, a president actually spending an entire weekend palling around, golfing with the Prime Minister of Japan. Two very critical two very critical diplomatic outreaches at a critical time with North Korea.
I think you can say that the Trump administration really did put its Asia policy on a sound footing in the last week. The meeting with Abe is the most important sign to both North Korea and China that this really most important U.S. alliance in Northeast Asia is strong. Abe took a big risk in coming and kind of jumping into the arms of this president in his first weeks in office, and the Japanese view this as a real success. What was striking about the reaction to the North Korean missile test is something that the White House, Trump's entourage, has been thinking about since the day of the election. What are we going to do when the North Koreans test? The reaction was surprisingly restrained. The president had a 23-word statement. He really left to Abe the hard statement. This is absolutely intolerable.
And you know, David, there were some people that were actually critical of that. I've been harshly critical of many things the president's done over the past 3 weeks. I thought that was pitch perfect. Let them speak and say, we are here and we stand behind you, period.
And, Joe, we should remember that our Secretary of Defense, Jim Mattis, has just been in South Korea and Japan talking about the hard side of U.S. power. I think American power is always more convincing when you say less about it, but it's there. So there are plans going forward with Japan and South Korea for much expanded cooperation in terms of missile defense, in terms of systems for monitoring what the North Koreans are doing. That's where real power, real pushback is going to come. And I think Trump was wise not to shoot out a tweet, but to be restrained.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.